Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Prep Sports Show here at the Gainesville Sun. My name is Larry Savage. I'm the high school sports editor, along with Cliff Olson, chief correspondent. And here we are at the Gainesville Sun with another great show, hopefully. And we're going to open, instead of with football, we'll get to football, but this week we're going to open with volleyball. It's the playoff time in volleyball with regional quarterfinals, and they opened yesterday. We had 5 teams that were entered in the regional quarterfinals yesterday. 4 of them came out in advance. Those teams were Buchholz, Eastside, PK Yonge, and St. Francis. And St. Francis and PK Yonge will meet again next week for the 4th time in the regional semifinals. And St. Francis beat a pretty good team last night, Cliff, didn't they?
Yeah, we could say that. They actually went on the road. It's never easy to go on the road in the playoffs to begin with, but Nick Sharona's team did that, went down to a Warner Christian, South Daytona, and Warner Christian's actually the 3-time defending 1A champ, so different classification this year.
Right.
But still, and they were under 500, finished with under 500 record, but I don't care what you say. If a team that's won 3 state titles, you go on the road to beat them, that's a big deal. So good job for the Wolves last night, and they get another shot at PK on Tuesday.
Right, and Buchholz defeated Fletcher from Neptune Beach. They beat him pretty easily. Alicia Bush substituted quite frequently in that match, and Eastside won, and that's great for Eastside. We are taping this on Wednesday, so tonight we have 4 other teams that are playing in the regional quarterfinals. That's Gainesville High School, Santa Fe, Keystone Heights, and Cornerstone Academy. So check in tomorrow's paper or check online. You can check online and see how those teams did. And like Cliff said, all the 1A regionals will be playing next week. Bell's at Lafayette. Trenton and Union County are both hosting matches, and then Chiefland's on the road as well.
And Larry, what I think is ironic, or I shouldn't say ironic, interesting, in that lower portion of that 1A state bracket, if you will, of those 8 teams, 5 of them are from our area. So there's a good odds to see if an area team can come out the lower portion of that bracket.
And just, I mean, this has been a phenomenal year for the area in volleyball. And last year we had 1 team advance to the Final Four. That was Oak Hall. Oak Hall is not in it this year postseason. Sorry, Kerry Martin. I know you tried. But who knows how many teams we'll have this year? We could have more than 1, Cliff.
Yeah, I think you're going to be making a trip down to, was it Kissimmee this year? To see more than 1 team, Larry.
Yep, it's going to be at Kissimmee this year.
Hey, what are we going to talk about now?
I think we'll go to football now. This is the final week for district contests, so supposed to be at the end of the week. You should know who your district champions and runners-ups are, but of course, whenever you have district, you always going to have those teams that tie, and so you have tiebreakers. So we could have a couple of tiebreakers in our region as well. Thursday night, if you're looking at this on Thursday, obviously tonight, in 5A District 5, Eastside's at Santa Fe. Pretty big game for the Rams and for the Raiders.
Absolutely, and I'm fortunate enough I get to go out to Alachua to cover that. Absolutely, if Santa Fe wins, they put themselves in excellent condition, or position rather, for the first playoff berth since '04.
And then my game I'm covering tomorrow night, I'm covering a pretty black and white as far as district goes. 6A District 5, Lecanto at Gainesville. Basically, the Hurricanes just have to beat Lecanto to get in the playoffs. GHS is a very good football team. They've lost 2 games by a total of 6 points. That's what separates them from an undefeated season. So I know they were pretty upset losing last week to Madison County. It was a very good team.
Especially at home.
Came to Citizens Field. I thought GHS defense played phenomenal in that game. Offense, special teams made some critical errors in that game that led to that. Same thing with Vanguard. They made some errors as well. So GHS can improve on special teams. They could go. I think they can go a long ways. Friday, the big game is the game I'm covering is Jacksonville University Christian is at Oak Hall. Oak Hall is looking for their first playoff berth since 1979. They didn't have football for many years, from 1991 to 2005, if I get it right. But they have a chance to really make the playoffs here. They've only lost 1 game all year. That was the Eagles View, which ended up winning the district. University Christian has got a phenomenal program. They've had 6 state titles in their history. Ronnie Pruitt's brother actually led them to a couple of state titles over there. So it's going to be a big game for Oak Hall, and
it's arguably the biggest. I know it's the biggest football game Scott McDaniel's ever coached in.
Right. So Oak Hall's a good team. We'll see if they can stick with this team. If they can pull it off. That will be a phenomenal win for them.
It's probably going to come down to defense, because I know we talk about this. I love Oak Hall skill guys. I think they can move the ball down the field. The guys up front are going to have to find a way to slow them down and give them a chance to maybe stay with it.
The loser of this game is out of the playoffs, basically. That's what it is. 1A District 6, Hawthorne is at Trenton. Cliff, you'll be covering that one.
Absolutely, and it's a cut and dry type deal, like you said. The winner, both, and just to clarify, the winner and runner-up in each one of these districts still move on to the regional playoffs. The district winner, of course, would host a first-round game when the district runner-up would be on the road. So, you know, Trenton and Hawthorne both wear orange and black as their colors, so there's going to be a lot of that on Friday. I think it's going to be a heck of a ball game with a lot of athletes on the field, and we'll see what happens. I give Trenton a slight edge, but either way, you got two playoff teams there.
Right, in District 4, 4A, we have Mount Dora at Bradford. Bradford, who I kind of thought was out of it after they lost to Keystone Heights, but Coach Chipolet was right. They still had a chance, an opportunity, and the opportunity is Friday. If they can beat Mount Dora and Keystone beats Interlochen, which I think they will, they should.
Yes.
Interlochen has not won a game. Then there will be a three-way playoff for the run-up spot because South Sumter clinched the district.
And isn't it, I use the word ironic again, Keystone and Bradford, two big rivals, the game I was at, now they're pulling for each other this week.
And that playoff could be in Stark, so that would be interesting. That'd be on Monday if they do have a.
It's something we probably have to be at too.
Yeah, if they do have a playoff. In 6A District 3, Columbia is at Tallahassee Leon. Columbia has to win this game to get in the playoffs. If they lose, they're done. They have I think they've done a terrific job this year, kind of rebounding, and if they win, they're in the playoffs. They're not district champions, but they will be in the playoffs. And 3A District 3 is kind of an interesting district, but it is for the district title.
Absolutely, but as we both know, Fort White and Coach Demetric Jackson, when they came to media days here in July, of course, we forgot to congratulate them, but they had their playoff berth wrapped up then, based on the fact that this is a two-team district. So they're basically playing for who's going to be at home in the first round of the playoffs and who won't be.
And Trinity Catholic had the week off prior to this game, so
might give them a little edge.
You can read what.
But Fort White still has the best wide receiver in our area, in my opinion, AJ Legree. So who knows? And Larry, I did want to mention one quick football item from Friday. PK Young's superstar quarterback, DeCoris Fields, in a loss to Lafayette, and it was PK's sixth loss in a row. He was phenomenal. 16 for 29 passing, 239 yards and a touchdown. Did have an interception. Then he ran for another 207 and 2 scores on 14 attempts. It wasn't a losing effort, but it was a video game-like performance to me.
Yeah, that's a great performance. We're going to turn now to golf, and Cliff's got some results from golf tournament, state tournament from today.
Absolutely. GHS, we'll call him a super sophomore, Pyrian Kim, for what he did yesterday on Tuesday in day one, shooting a 4 under 68 to lead the 96 golfer field after day one with 20 to 25 mile-an-hour winds was quite remarkable. And as great as his career best round was yesterday, maybe it was the pressure, maybe there wasn't enough wind for him today, but he actually shot a 14 over today, 86, which really had to hurt. Yeah. But as last speaking to GHS coach Philip Knight, Pyrian Kim was still in 4th place, so he's still going to have a top 5 to top 10 finish, which is not too shabby. But obviously, when you're leading the event, going to day 2, your expectations go up a little bit. The Buchholz girls team looks like they'll end up having to finish top 5, which is good for them. This is their first state title, or state tournament appearance, since 2002. And then the Oak Hall girls, they struggled yesterday, but they look like they might find a way to squeeze in the top 10 as well.
We also have regional swimming meets starting tomorrow for several teams, and also Saturday. And cross-country district meets start up this week, and also on Saturday for some teams. But you can always go to our website and get scoring updates on Thursday and Friday on preps.gainesville.com for football, and like us on Facebook at Gainesville Preps, and you can follow me on Twitter at Sun Preps.
And I'm actually on Twitter now too, believe it or not, at Olson C23. Also, don't forget we have district cross country starting tomorrow, in fact, running through the weekend.
Right. So thanks again for watching us, and we'll see you again next week.